Good morning, traders. Today is Friday, January 27th. My name is Charles, and this is the Pirate Traders live stream. Please smash that like button if you don't mind. It really helps if we get those likes first thing in the morning. Appreciate y'all being here. Let's talk about what's happening in the market. Well, yesterday was a very interesting day. The market was able to break out of balance. It was able to confirm the retest. Actually, let me just zoom out to the daily here. It was able to confirm the retest of that downtrend breakout. So we came back, retested it, and then we kept the momentum going. Yay! That's bullish to see. We made higher highs and higher lows, and we had value higher than the previous day. All of those things increase the odds that we have momentum to the upside. At the very end of the day, we got what's called a spike up. That spike up is another sign that there is positive momentum in the market, that there is still more business to be had to the upside. So that is also bullish to see. The spike up gives us a clue as to whether or not that bullishness will continue into today. If we were opening above it, it would be bullish. Inside it, it would be bullish, but opening below the spike up is the least bullish scenario. Now, it's not bearish. It's important to understand it's not bearish, but it is just that bullishness we had from the spike is gone because we're opening below it. So the overnight range obviously traded in a very, very tight range. That means that we likely have good, strong support from the low. So we got a lot of buyers willing to step in and create some support here. But if we break the overnight low, then we're going to need to start to pull back and repair all this weakness. Okay. We have a lot of weakness below. So market opens. I'm looking for chop inside this overnight range where they chopped all night. If they break that overnight low, I get bearish and start monitoring for continuation to the downside. If they can get back above this big node right here, right around where we opened, I look for support for continuation higher because we have the momentum, right? So if they start to build to the upside, I'll jump on board. But I just want to make sure we don't crash below that overnight low first because that could get bearish. It's tricky when the market has momentum like this because it can just keep going. I mean, day after day after day, it can just keep going. But leave just tons and tons of weakness behind. And as a trader in these moments, it's very difficult to deal with because your brain will keep recognizing, man, there's so much weakness. There's so much weakness. But you must just remember, until the momentum is completely gone, they can keep pushing it. It will shock you how far they can push it. So we got the first signal the momentum is running out today by opening below the spike. But that's it. Other than that, we still see momentum. So we won't get overly distracted by that weakness unless the overnight low breaks. Charles, you just said a lot of words. You said a lot of words. Can you just say it to me simple? Can you just say it to me simple? Yeah, let me make it real easy. I'm assuming chop as long as we're inside the overnight range. But if we get above, I'm bullish. Below, I'm bearish. Chop, bull, bear. Simple as that. There's your chop zone. In between those levels, in between that support and resistance, the market could flip and reverse anywhere, any number of times, and confuse the ever-living heck out of everyone. But if it can get above that resistance and start to bring in buyers up there, or get below that support and bring in sellers down there, well, then we have an opportunity. Then someone's taking charge. But in between the two, it's just tug of war. And the best chance you have is to guess. Good luck with that. Screwball A high made an iceberg exactly at the base of the spike. Oh, good catch. Good catch. 'Tis weak, but it's in a chop zone, so we'd expect that. Dude, Screwball over here with sniper eyes. Peter says NQ is already above. No, sir. NQ also in a chop zone. So you are testing the resistance, which is at about 11,107. That's your resistance level, basically the overnight high, and then the overnight low, which is 12,017. That's your chop zone. So you got to get above the overnight high or below the overnight low. Otherwise, you're just going to chop it up. Screwball says, I don't remove my spike line even if the market opens below it. Yeah, I thought about that one a long time ago. You know, I went through a phase where I tried to truly master the skill of knowing when do references matter, when do they stop mattering. And I can't, I mean, it was so long ago, I can't remember why I came to the conclusion, but I did specifically come to the conclusion it doesn't matter once you're below it. So I would call like the iceberg there more coincidence than anything. But you could be right. Maybe I missed something. All right. So when we're in a chop zone like this, the first signal we might be picking a direction is if we can turn the halfback into support or resistance. So if they can hold the halfback here and then head up, they're going to take a poke at the resistance. Well, no, there you go. Didn't work. If not, then you have more chop. So now it didn't hold. We expect more chop. But then once it goes down, if when it comes back up, it hits that halfback and it starts to get resistance, well, then we know they're going for a poke at the support. So while it's chopping up and down and you have no certainty, the best hope you have is support at halfback. But what I think a lot of newer traders have a hard time understanding is they'll watch it there again and again and it won't have support, right? So they'll have like a bullish bias. They'll be thinking this market's going to go higher. And so, but it's still inside the chop zone, mind you, but they'll just be convinced it's going to go higher. And so they'll watch it come down and they'll think, okay, it's supposed to find support here. And it won't. It'll pass through. And so then they'll think, oh no, I'm wrong. I was wrong that the market is going to go up. Whatever signal I was seeing that was telling me the market was going to go up, it's not right because halfback didn't hold. And then, a few minutes later, it comes up, it holds, and then boom, it breaks through. And they're like, wait, I don't understand. I thought I was wrong. Da-da-da. When it's in a chop zone, it'll pass through that halfback a million times, and it won't work as support. But that last time it does, that's the one where it goes. So it's really important to not put too much focus on that halfback. It's just the first little clue you might have. High repaired, but they just made another weak high. Weakness. David V, do you find a tight range in the overnight significant? Yes, I do. It will act as very, very strong support or resistance. So like I said, the lows in particular to me are very, very strong because they built them like this. I mean, they just slowly but surely were like, yep, we're not going down. Yep, we're sure. We don't need to go lower. Now, they also weren't ready to go higher, okay, but they knew they didn't want to go lower. And if we're playing momentum, if we're looking at the fact that we had higher highs and higher lows yesterday on the daily and a spike up at the end of the day, we should assume if it's competition in this very, very tight range between buyers and sellers, that as long as the buyers held it, they're going to win because they have the momentum. So yeah, that's important as support and resistance. Now, as far as what it means for the day to come, you don't know. Sometimes it's like that tightening of the spring effect, where it's like if the overnight stayed in a super tight range, it's ready to burst. And then other times it's like if the overnight trades in a tight range, then we just trade in a tight range all day and go nowhere. So it's kind of like, is this the signal that we're about to be in a day where we do nothing but grind? Or is this the signal that we just did all the grinding we need and we're ready to break? Well, we don't know. Hence why we see it as a chop zone. And we wait for the break one way or another, then we join the party. But boy, do we have confidence, right? We have a lot of confidence. Because if they're able to get above yesterday's high and find new buyers up here, well then, bam, baby, that spring was loading for the shot up, and we want to be part of that. And same thing if it fails. If they come back down through this low, well, now we've got tons and tons of weakness below us, and even this couldn't hold up the market. Well, then the market's going down. So sitting through the discomfort and the uncertainty of the chop zone puts us in a position to take advantage of whatever the outcome will be. And we just cross our fingers and pray to the money gods that it's not a sideways choppy day like it was for the overnight, because those are no fun at all. Cortman, yes, thank you for bringing it up. As a matter of fact, I've been up since 5 a.m. this morning. I woke up, my eyes just opened, bing, and my brain was like turned on, shing, like, good morning, Charles, time to get to work. And I'm working on the Bootcamp. Let me just tell you, for any of you that are listening right now that signed up for Bootcamp, you people have no idea what you're in for. I have got quite an adventure planned for you. But yeah, starting next week, everything kicks into gear. So Bootcamp, the first session starts on Monday. And we have 2 more free private live streams, Monday and Tuesday. And then on Wednesday, this daily free dose disappears. And I go behind the paywall forever. Goodbye to you. I will, of course, still do live streams from time to time. And a lot more like in the afternoons and stuff like that. If there's something interesting happening in a particular moment, I might go live. So you definitely want to make sure you hit that notification bell. You subscribe and hit that notification bell because there won't be a daily stream anymore. So you're going to have to be a subscriber to find out. All right, we got another week high. So the question is, does the market run out of steam up here like it did in the overnight? Does the volume taper off and then we pull right back down? Or can we work our way through this and try to get above that overnight high? Okay, so here's the test of the overnight high and yesterday's high, and we're above it. That's bullish. So we now have a confirmation of a continuation of that momentum. We have a higher high and a higher low in the daily, and we have value higher than yesterday. So the market is telling us it has momentum to the upside. As it told us yesterday with the spike, the party is not over. So I'm now looking for support and continuation higher. We may get support here at the overnight high around 40.76, or they may have to pull back down to the halfback again. But I remain bullish pretty much above this node right here. So anywhere above 40.64, I'm a bull. As we are trending on the daily. And it will shock you how far they can push it. But Charles, the weakness. What about the weakness? All that weakness. This is one of those times we must remind ourselves. Okay? We're short-term traders. Yes, the market needs to come back for this. No doubt about it. But right now, they're not telling us that that's what they want to do. Right now, they're telling us that there's more and more buyers who need to buy themselves some stock. And this market is going up. And so we're going to focus on the momentum for now. And we'll worry about the weakness when the momentum is gone. James says, can I get into the boot camp? Not the first one. That one's already all booked. But there's another one in a couple months. Head to piratrators.io/bootcamp for more information. Any resistance levels? Yeah, I mean, my first focus is repairing the week high at 40.87. No. I mean, we're now in that bigger move trajectory where we're starting to notice the market was finally able to break away from that 39.69 node. Where is it most likely going? 41, looks like 15-ish. So if we've got the momentum, these little bits of resistance right here, we should be able to poke through those. So we are much more focused on support than resistance. Can they hold it? We just keep asking all day. Can they hold it? Do we still have buyers? All right, so here we go. First test of yesterday's high. We were able to break out above it. Can it now become support? 40.77. ES Trade Monkey, is the boot camp a one and done or some kind of continual plan? No, it's a one and done. The idea of all of the educational stuff moving forward is that it's a one and done. The idea is if you want to learn how to trade with profile, you can do a workshop and learn that way, or you can take the e-course and learn that way. But it's not meant to be a continual, like you just keep taking workshop after workshop after workshop, not like that. And the boot camp is definitely not like that. The boot camp is a one time for sure, because the boot camp is just like a personal self-exploration. So hopefully by the end of boot camp, I will have given you all the tools to continue that journey forever on your own. John Doe, in the members room, what will the schedule be? So I'll be doing the first hour every day like I do here on the public, YouTube. And then normally what I do is I do this all day for the brigade members, but in the future, it'll just be, I'll do it as long as I want. So some days it'll be all day. Some days it'll just be for the first hour. Some days a little bit in between, whatever. I essentially just want the freedom to be able to stop whenever I feel like it after the first hour. Catherine, do we need to re-sign up for the brigade? Nope. You'll just, the email you normally get at 10:30 in the morning, you'll just get it the night before each day. ES Trade Monkey. Self-exploration. Am I going to have to bring my childhood into this? I'm not making a joke. Yes, you are. We're going to spend a lot of time talking about the way your subconscious is programmed, which is your subconscious is programmed between birth and age 7. So there's going to be a lot of conversation about why you have the habits you have and where they come from. Get ready. Shit's about to get real. You are going to get to know yourself. Nope, still 9:30. Same as always, just on the private stream. Okay, looks like we don't quite have the buyers yet. So now we're looking to test that halfback. Can that hold as support? Thomas, Michigan Consumer Sentiment Index. Does that come out in a minute? That'll give us a little flutter. Oh, yes, sir. All right, the bots are in control. Here come the news bots. All cloaked in darkness, with no liquidity in their way. All right, we're still looking for support at halfback. If there's buyers there, they should be there, even with the news bot. Okay. So the halfback held as good support. It was not a, even though technically it's weak because it's like one tick below halfback, there was no iceberg there. That was real buyers. So now we're back to looking to see if we can hold the overnight high as support. Do we have buyers at 77? And of course, now we want to start to see the liquidity. We want to see all this darkness start to fill in again, get some color in here. I'd like to just note that there's 200 souls watching right now. I just called the freaking support to a tick 10 minutes before we got there, and I still only got 68 likes. What's it going to take? Public YouTube? What's it going to take? Hey, we got 100 likes. Thank you very much. Appreciate you guys. You know I hate it when you make me beg. All right, so we're starting to get some color coming in here, some liquidity stepping in. So from here, we can begin to trust support and resistance once again. It's no longer just the news bots. Real traders starting to trade in here. David Cooper. Appreciate you. That's better than a like, actually. I'll take it. Okay, there's the repair of the week high that we left behind from the 14th, from December 14th. So we're going to have some resistance here around 40.90. And the test of the support from there will give us a sign of how much momentum we still have. Do we have to pull all the way back down to the overnight high, or can we build support up here at higher prices? New buying at higher prices is a sign there is still more momentum. So I'm going to put these levels, I'm going to point out these support levels. These are more just like question marks. Can they hold? At least the first two. Definitely overnight high can hold. Screwball says, left my long too fast today. You'll have plenty of chances. We have momentum. You remember what these days are like? Buy the dips, sell the rips. Just don't be afraid to buy the dip. You can get back in. They will dip. Yeah, I would definitely encourage caution on the buy side here. They have the momentum, but they need to pull back and create good, strong support. We're back in that FOMO buying, short covering area, you know? So they really need a good pullback that brings in solid buyers before you can trust the momentum up here. I hate giving advice like that because there's a chance they could just keep going, right? They could push it higher, bring in more buyers, push it higher, bring in more buyers. I mean, they can just keep this thing going. But I do feel like they haven't had a chance to give those stronger hand buyers a chance to get in some real support. So I'm bullish, but with caution up here. Wow. Well, I mean, I still think this thing needs to pull back to test like 83 or even 4080. But there's more and more buyers at the high. That is a sign of momentum. As the old saying goes, someone's buying something somewhere. They're buying the stocks today. All right, here we go. A chance to come down and test some support. So we got our first level of interest right here around 4083. We're also testing the ticks in the same area. So the question is, if we can find support in here, we should be able to see those ticks get poked back above the zero line. If they start to get pulled below and stay below, well, then we know we don't have the support. Do the ticks get slapped? Nathan, it's hard to pull the trigger at highs. Wondering if there is a way to identify support at lows. Yeah. There's always a way to identify support at any point. The question is, do you want to be a buyer at the lows? Did you want to buy the low this morning? For example, you could have bought the base of the spike from yesterday. Once we poked back above it and it turned into support, you could have bought that. That was a clear level that was staring at you, that was acting as support that you could have bought. But it would have been a guess. You would have been guessing. So wouldn't you rather wait for it to break, get above the high, give you the signal that you should be looking for a long trade, then just be patient and wait for it to pull back into support, which is what it's doing right now, by the way, watching those ticks. And then get in at support when you know the trade is working, rather than doing it when it's guessing. Okay, so no support at the first level. So now we're looking to test 80. Do the buyers step in there? Is that where the ticks get slapped back up? Scott says, is there a way to know when you're in your golden years? When you're in your golden years? Yes, Scott, you're in your golden years right now. This is your moment. Today is your life. Make this the best day it can be. Love every second of today because you could be dead tomorrow. This might be the best day you ever get. Don't spend it being unhappy. Don't spend it focusing on the shitty things. Find the things to love in today because it might be the last one you have. This is your golden year. Enjoy it. James, when do you know you have support? Well, you have it right now, so far. The question is, can they hold it? Nick, exactly. You have support until you don't. So you put your order in, you buy. If it holds, you make money. If it doesn't, you get stopped out and you look for the next opportunity. All right, no support yet. That's a little bit less bullish to see. Obviously, a sign of momentum is they can't wait to buy the market. That's not happening yet, but we still have the real support, which is yesterday's high and the overnight high, right here around 77. I stay bullish as long as that holds. Because as long as that holds, the highest probability is continuation higher. So if this area here can hold and not break back down into the overnight range, the highest probability is that we're going to keep going up. Opportunity, area where you're wrong, potential outcome. You're a trader. What do you do with opportunities? Screwball. You don't have to take every opportunity. Nope, of course not. You don't have to take every opportunity. I'm just trying to teach people how to think. What will happen is the market will push up and it'll break above the B period high. And then they'll say to me, Charles, where is the support? Where can I buy? And I will say to them, you had your chance. The market was in support. It spent all this time grinding and grinding. But you were too busy worried about the market going lower at that time, and you missed your chance. But nope, I'm not saying anybody has to do anything. If you don't like the look of it, don't trade it. I'm just saying you have to take advantage of the opportunity when it's there, and you'll never know when it's there if it's going to work or not. So if you want to buy support, if the market's working its way higher and you want to buy support, you put your order in, you put your stop, and when it comes back down, you're not going to know whether it's going to work or not. You're never going to know. But that's not what trading is. Trading is not knowing for sure it's going to work. It's taking the risk, and then if it works, you're a king. And if it doesn't, you get stopped out and you go, okay, well, next opportunity. That support didn't hold. Maybe this one will, or maybe this one, or whatever. Or maybe I'll short to get from here to there. However it is that you trade. But too many people wait to take advantage of opportunities instead of getting in them when you got to get in them. And when you got to get in them is when you don't know if they're going to work or not. All right, so as we print the C period here, we left behind a single print in the B period. That increases the odds that that A period high will act as support for continuation to the upside. So we are now looking to hold either 40.83 or the halfback area around 40.78 for continuation to the upside. I would say, even though we're still inside the initial balance, if we do start to break back down below the halfback here, we are probably going to head lower. So I would no longer be bullish once we got back inside this overnight range. So remember that chop zone that we broke out of earlier? If we started to pull back down into that zone now, I would assume we need to pull back the market a little bit. So I would lose my bullishness. But as long as we can continue to hold up here above that overnight high, as long as we can continue to bring in business up here, I will assume that the same momentum that brought us up here yesterday, gave us the spike, and then gave us the support to get back up above again, I'll assume that that momentum is still in the market. And as I discussed earlier, there's not a lot of resistance above us in between here and 41.16, which is the next major node. So that's a very realistic target as long as we can keep the momentum going. So keep your eyes on support and trust those ticks. Can they hold it? With that, I will say goodbye to all the freebies on the YouTube. You know we love you, but your time is running out. There's only going to be 2 more free streams next week, and then I'm gone. Like the wind. So if you want to jump on board the train, all you got to do is join the brigade. There's a link in the description, and it only costs $10. I know you've been enjoying this for free, and you've gotten used to it. Are you willing to pay $10 to keep it going? Something for you to think about this weekend. And to the members of the brigade, I'll see you over there. Goodbye, everyone.